Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Nama Pankajanathaya Nama Pankajamadine Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangraye. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 31, entitled The Gopi Songs of Separation. We will continue from reading we had completed till text 7. We will continue from text 8. Madhuraya gira Valguvakyaya Buddha Manobnaya Pushkarikshana Vidhikaririma Viramuyati Adharasi dhuna Yayasvanaha. Translation. O lotus-eyed one, your sweet voice and charming words, which attract the minds of the intelligent, are bewildering us more and more. Our dear hero, please revive your maidservants with the nectar of your lips. Om Jnana-Timirandhasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshuram-Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu-Padaya Krishna-Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swaminiti Namine. Namo Vishnu-Padaya Krishna-Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swaminiti Namine. Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaurakatha Dhamadaya Nagara Gramatarine. Namo Vishnu-Padaya Krishna-Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshu Nivadi Paschatya Veshadharine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhaktarinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This very beautiful verse, text 8. Here the gopis, they are in, they have now come to the point where they are really, so much deeply in meditation of Krishna. And, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the mid-morning sessions, now we are reading the instructions of Srila Rupa Goswami that Srila Rupa Goswami received from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu is talking about something called as Kevala Bhakti. So Kevala Bhakti is something very, very unique, which is only possible by the Brajvasis. Because in Kevala Bhakti, it's not just uninterrupted, unalloyed, unmotivated devotional service, but it is also on the platform where the worshipper forgets the supremacy of Krishna and considers them to be on the same platform or sometimes even higher than Krishna out of their, supreme love for Krishna. So there is a very beautiful difference that there can be Kevala Bhakti out of awe and reverence, and there can be Kevala Bhakti, the one that Krishna enjoys most, is Kevala Bhakti without awe and reverence. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gives a very beautiful analogy that how in all the rasas, starting from Sakhya Ras, even Shanta Ras, Sakhya Ras, Dasya Ras, Vatsalya Ras, Madhurya Ras, all of these rasas, Mahaprabhu gives an analogy of Kevala Bhakti with awe and reverence and Kevala Bhakti without awe and reverence. So the ones that strike me the most of the analogies that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Srila Rupa Goswami is in Sakhya Ras. Mahaprabhu says that Arjuna, he is also the friend of Krishna, but when Krishna revealed the universal form to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, at that time, Arjuna started offering prayers out of awe and reverence to Krishna. His Sakhya Ras, the one that was with intimacy, it completely changed when Arjuna witnessed the universal form of Krishna. And he started offering prayers to Krishna, saying all these things like, Krishna, I have committed so many offenses to you. Lying down on the same bed, talking to you very, very informally, addressing you so informally. Please forgive me for all of that. So that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving the example of Kevala Bhakti when it is in awe and reverence, in Sakhya Ras. As opposed to Kevala Bhakti without awe and reverence is the Sakhas of Braj. Like Sridam, Sudam, Madhumangal, when Krishna is playing with the Gopas, at that time, if Krishna loses, when they are playing, if Krishna loses, there is no exception. The punishment is the same for Krishna. So Sridam, Madhumangal, they come to Kanha and say, Kanha, you lost, so now it is turn that you are also going to carry me on your back and then walk from one place to the other. So Krishna very, very submissively, he accepts this defeat from his friends, and he carries his friends on his back. Just like whoever is defeated in the game, they have to carry the one who has won on their shoulder. So Krishna does that. So that is Sakhya Ras, and that is Kevala Bhakti without awe and reverence. So like this, even in Madhurya Ras, Rukmini Devi, whenever Krishna visits Rukmini Devi, she is serving. She is personally taking care of each and every nook and corner of her palace, personally cleaning, personally seeing to all the details so that when Krishna enters, that, when he is in her chamber, that everything should be perfect. She personally oversees it. She was not only a princess from before her marriage to Krishna, but after the marriage, she is the primal queen of Krishna. She's the primal queen of Dwarka. Out of the 16,108 queens that Krishna has, she's the primeval. But still, without considering her unique position, she personally cleans her quarters so that Krishna will be comfortable. But still, her love is with awe and reverence. As compared to the gopis of Vrindavan, the gopis and Srimati Radharani of Vrindavan, if any moment Krishna comes late to an appointment to meet Srimati Radharani, I was telling this past time that one time there was Srimati Radharani, they had all the Sakhis, they had got together and they had decided that Krishna and Srimati Radharani will meet at a designated spot, at a designated time, at a designated kunja that, Vrinda Devi had selected for them. So they would meet there and they would have, nice, beautiful swing pastimes and water pastimes. So they had, prepared for all of that. And the preparation that they took, the Sakhis of Srimati Radharani, they took in preparing Srimati Radharani. That was amazing. The kind of decorations, the kind of ornaments that they put on Srimati Radharani was very, very amazing. In the sense that starting from Srimati Radharani's lotus feet, it is explained that Chitra Sakhi, she is very, very expert in drawing and painting beautiful designs on patterns on Srimati Radharani's lotus feet and her lotus palms with a liquid dye which is called as alta. It is a red liquid dye which is called as alta. So with that and a peacock feather, Srimati Chitra Devi, who is one of the Ashtasakhis, she very beautifully and intricately paints the lotus feet and the lotus palms of Srimati Radharani. And then Sudevi Sakhi is very expert in decorating Srimati Radharani's hair. Every time she does a new design. So she decorated Srimati Radharani's hair. She put fresh forest flowers, very beautifully smelling flowers on her hair. So Radharani's hair and her lotus feet and palms are looking gorgeous. And then Srimati Radharani was adorned with a blue sari which has red dots all over, red embroidery work all over, and her blouse is red with a blue lace at the bottom of her sleeves to match exactly with her sari. And in her, thin, gorgeous waist, Srimati Lalita Devi, she put a very beautiful belt adorning her thin waist. And, she had chokers, she had necklaces, so beautiful ornaments. And she had, bracelets and kangans adorning her wrists, earrings, everything matching with her, the sari that she was wearing. She was so beautifully and intricately decorated by all of the Sakhis. And then she was finally brought into this kunja where Vrinda Devi had arranged where Shyamasundara would come. And Srimati Radharani is waiting in the kunja, all the Sakhis are waiting in the kunja, and Kanha is nowhere to be seen. Krishna missed the appointed time, and they are all waiting and waiting and waiting, and Krishna didn't come. And after a long, long time, Krishna made his transcendental appearance. And when Krishna came in, Lalita Sakhi, she is her age is described to be even elder than Krishna's. She is elder to Krishna. She is the only Sakhi who is eldest amongst everyone, and she's even elder to Krishna. And therefore, she considers it upon herself. She is like the protector of Srimati Radharani, because Radharani is so modest that she does not express herself. She is very modest, very shy. So Lalita Sakhi, she cannot tolerate any injustice done to her dear Sakhi, to Sri Radhe. So Lalita Sakhi felt so bad that when Kanha came so late, so at the entrance, even before Krishna could make his entrance into the kunja, Lalita Sakhi stopped him at the entrance and started chastising him. That Krishna, what do you think of yourself? Just because we are crazy behind you, you think you can take us for granted like this? She was rebuking him and scolding him, and no consideration whatsoever, completely not at all thinking that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No thoughts. It is just that the lover has come late to meet his beloved, and therefore the beloved of the beloved is chastising the lover. That was the mood of Sri Lalita Devi. In that mood, she was chastising and rebuking Krishna. How can you do this? And Krishna was just simply standing there and accepting and listening and nodding his head. And, Krishna was speechless. He didn't have any excuse that why he was late. And at that time, Radhe, she felt extremely bad. And she asked Lalita Devi to stop chastising and come inside and allow them to enjoy their pastimes. But again, if we see the contrast between Rukmini Devi and we see the contrast between Lalita Sakhi and the gopis, we can see that how the gopis, they never even consider that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rather, they actually consider themselves to be even superior to Krishna, that they can chastise him. So that is the Kevala Bhakti of the gopis in Madhurya Ras. And this is unique. This bhava cannot be imitated. We are on we are on neither any of the platforms, neither in Kevala Bhakti with awe and reverence or Kevala Bhakti without awe and reverence. There's no question. But we are simply on the platform of accepting Krishna as our master eternally. That is the mood Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given. Ashli Shiva Padaratam Pinashtumam Adarshanan Marmahatam Karotuva Yatha Tatha Va Vidadhatu Lampato Mat Prananathastu Sa Eva Naparaha. This is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us. That you are my Prananath, you are my master eternally, whether you embrace me tightly or whether you become invisible to my eyes, or you can trample upon me. Whatever you do, my Lord, you are my worshipable Lord, life after life, birth after birth. So that is the consciousness that we are in as given by Srila Prabhupada, that we should be very, very mindful that we should know all of this, levels of devotion, but at the same time we should know that what is our position, that we are in Dasya Ras, we are worshipping the Supreme Lord, and we are eternally begging Him to allow us to be His servants. And then it is said, that Srila Prabhupada has said that our eternal relationship with Krishna will, thus be revealed. It will be automatically revealed. We don't have to go through any kind of procedure for that, but this is the only procedure. So this particular verse, text 8, is talking about something on the Kevala Bhakti platform of the gopis. The gopis are demanding something from Krishna. They are saying that Krishna, you are a sweet and enchanting talker. Madhura ya gira valgu vakyaya. That your vakya, your speech is so melodious that even though we may be so upset with you, even though there may be so many different things going on, but you always convince us to become madly in love with you and never leave you. That is your position. We can never be angry with you for a long time. We can never do that because you always entice us with your beautiful and enchanting words. Madhura ya gira valgu vakyaya. With your beautiful and enchanting words, you always capture our minds. And the gopis are saying that you not only enchant us, but you keep bewildering us more and more. So this incident, of bewildering the mind more and more, there was one particular lila that was very unique to Krishna and Srimati Radharani, which Srimati Radharani shared with all the gopis later, and that is why the gopis are, narrating this particular two lines. The pastime happens like this, that one time, Shriji Thakurani, that's Srimati Radharani, Shriji Thakurani and Sri Shyamasundara, Krishna, they were walking down the road in Radhakund. They were holding each other's hands and they were walking in Radhakund. And at that time, there was one devotee that Shriji Thakurani noticed who was sitting on the side of the road, and he was blind. And he was chanting the glories of Krishna. And then Sriji Thakurani, her heart immediately melted out of compassion seeing this sincere devotee. And then Sri Radhe very beautifully looked at Kanha and said, "Hey Krishna, hey Shama Sundara, can you please go and talk to this devotee? He is calling out our name. So can you please go and talk to this devotee?" So hearing this sweet melodious request from Srimati Radharani, from Sriji Thakurani, Shama Sundar told Radhe that, "Hey Sriji, I will go because I have no other option. When you request me so sweetly, I cannot think anything else but to go to that devotee. So I will go." So Krishna, he came to that devotee. Now the devotee was blind, so he could not see anything. So Krishna came in front of that devotee, and Sriji Thakurani was standing at a distance, seeing what Kanha is going to do. And then Krishna, with his naughtiness, he started talking to this very sincere devotee. He said, "Oh, my dear devotee, you look so sincere, but why are you chanting the names of that butter thief? He is nothing but a thief. He just tortures Mother Yashoda. He tortures all the Brajvasis. And why are you taking his names? Why don't you take somebody else's name? That will be more beneficial to you. If you take a personality like, Lord Vishnu, you see Lord Vishnu, he is so, accountable. Because if anybody calls out, like Gajendra, he called out to Lord Vishnu, and Vishnu was there in a moment, and he saved and protected Gajendra. But look at this Krishna. Who is this Krishna? Why are you wasting your time in calling out Krishna's name? And Sriji Thakurani was seeing all this naughtiness of Krishna and smiling to herself. She couldn't control her laughter. And hearing the melodious laughter of Sriji Thakurani from the side, this blind devotee came to know that this is none other than Krishna who has come and who is torturing him like this. So then the blind devotee very nicely started to say to Krishna, "Yes, my dear boy, you are very right that I should rather take the names of Lord Vishnu. But you know why I am chanting Krishna's name?" And then Kanha said, Why? Tell me, why are you chanting? Even I am confused. That why would you leave the most accountable Vishnu and leave his name and chant Krishna's name? Why would you do that? So even I'm inquisitive to know. So please tell me, why are you taking Krishna's name? So then this devotee said to Krishna, he said that, "My dear Kanha," and Krishna was shocked. He said, Hey, how do you know that I am Krishna? I am not Krishna. And then he said, "Okay, Baba, you are not Krishna, but you came to me to talk to me with your most sweet, enchanting words. You came just by the saying of one request of Sriji Thakurani, you have come to talk to me. So that is your mercy, that you don't even care what I would be, doing or what I am chanting. You won't even care. But if Sriji Thakurani recommends any living entity to you, you will not even consider who is being recommended, but you will go to that person. That is how merciful you are. So that is why I chant your name." And hearing this, Krishna was very, very, his naughtiness completely disappeared, and he just, with tearful eyes, Krishna actually embraced this devotee. And Srimati Radharani also made her appearance, and they blessed the devotee so that they could have the darshan of the divine couple. And then Srimati Radharani blessed the blind devotee by saying that you have so much faith in Krishna that I today give Krishna to you. Srimati Radharani blessed that devotee by giving Krishna. And Krishna said that because Sriji Thakurani has been merciful to you, therefore I agree that I am your sold out servant. I am your servant. I am yours from today. So this beautiful pastime I heard when we were doing the Braja Mandal Parikrama in reference to this particular verse, that Madhuraya Gira Valgu Vakyaya, that Krishna's words are so enchanting that he can attract the heart of anyone. And at that point, actually Krishna asked this devotee that you were blind. How did you know that it was me and Sriji Thakurani who have come? And then the blind man said that, my dear Lord, I may be blind by my eyes, but my ears work very sharply. And I cannot miss the transcendental giggling of Srimati Radharani. I could recognize that. And I could recognize the naughtiness in your voice. Because no one other than you can say that Vishnu is greater than yourself or more dependable than yourself. No one other than Krishna himself can say this. No one else in the entire creation can say this. So with your sweet words, the words that you chose, and Srimati Radharani's giggling, I could understand that both of you have come to see me. And so this is what happens even when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The reason why we chant Hare before is that we are begging to Srimati Radharani that, hey Radhe, please recommend us to Krishna. That when Srimati Radharani, when she recommends anybody to Krishna, Krishna gives himself to that person. Krishna doesn't even see who is being recommended. And Sri Radhe is like mercy personified. She is compassion personified. She does not even, if we sincerely just beg to her like a loving mother, she always reciprocates. So she is our only hope. So if we take shelter of the lotus feet of Sriji Thakurani, we have some hope of getting the mercy of the divine couple. So the gopis are saying that they are remembering this particular pastime which Sriji Thakurani herself has narrated very jovially to the gopis. She narrated this pastime to the gopis. And the gopis are remembering this particular pastime and saying, Kanha, your words are always so enchanting. And now we are missing those words. So with the same lips and with the same tongue that you use to talk all these enchanting words, we are begging you to come in front of us and Adhara Sidhuna, Adhar Ras, that with the nectarian mellows coming from your adhara, from your lips, you come and bless us. So the gopis are requesting the nectar from Krishna's lips to come and touch them so that they will be relieved and revived of their suffering, that they are the pangs of separation that they are having from Krishna. They would be revived by that transcendental nectar from Krishna's adhara ras, from Krishna's transcendental lips. So the gopis are requesting this touch from Krishna's lips. Adhar ras they are requesting from Krishna and begging that please come and bless us with your maidservants. We are your maidservants, so please be merciful and bless us with the nectar of your lips. Moving on to text 9. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam karmashataham Shravanamangalam bhuvi grinanti ye bhurida janam. Translation: the nectar of your words and the descriptions of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. These narrations transmitted by learned sages eradicate one's simple reactions and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Certainly, those who spread the message of Godhead are most munificent. The gopis are telling Krishna that your words, your katha, tava kathamritam, it's not just katha, it's not just your pastimes, but they're amrita, they're nectarian. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam. Tapta matlab, Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj gives a very beautiful analogy in this verse, in regards to this verse. The reason why the gopis choose the word tapta jivanam means when we are in the desert, we may be walking under the scorching heat of the sun. We are walking in the dry desert. There's just sand and sand and sand in front of us, below us, which is so, scorched by the sun that is burning above. So when you put your feet on that scorching sand, it literally burns. If any of us have had the opportunity to walk over hot sand, it's really, really hot. It is very, very hot. So that is called tapta. Tapna matlab, it's really, burning. It's burning. So this material world is considered to be like that, walking on that, scorching sand. But what does Krishna's Kathamrita do? That gives jivana. If you imagine when you're walking in this scorching sun, in this scorching sand, when you're walking, if you see a little oasis of water, how do we feel when we see that little oasis of water? It is Jivandaini. It is life-giving. It gives our life, because that scorching heat just takes our life away. But that little water, that little reservoir of water in the middle of the desert is Jivana. It is life. So that's why the gopis are saying, Tapta Jivanam. In the desert, your Kathamrita is like that little oasis of water which gives us life. So Srila Prabhupada, actually by establishing all the beautiful ISKCON centers around the entire world, Srila Prabhupada has created these beautiful oases in this material world. In this desert-like material world, all of these ISKCON centers that Srila Prabhupada has made is like that oasis, is a life-giving, it is Jivandaini. And ISKCON center not only means the actual temples that we have, but Srila Prabhupada has said that even our homes are temples. Because Krishna is present even in our homes. By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, by the mercy of the centers that Srila Prabhupada has established, we are able to replicate that entire temple atmosphere into our own homes. So that is the beauty of what Srila Prabhupada has given us. He has given us an oasis where we can really listen to the nectarian ocean of holy name. We can chant the nectarian ocean. We can just dive ourselves in the nectarian ocean of Krishna consciousness. That is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada that he has given to us. So that is what is Tapta Jivanam. Kavi bhiriritam kalma shapaham Shravana mangalam Shrimadatam. That just by listening, Shravana mangalam, just by simply listening to the transcendental activities of your nectarian pastimes, Krishna, what happens? that, the Kavi Bhirita means all the great wise people have said that it completely eradicates sinful reactions and bestows good fortune upon whoever hears this. It bestows good fortune. Shravana Mangalam. Anyone who hears and chants the nectarian, mellows of Krishna consciousness, Srimad Srimad means they're filled with spiritual power, and when we are in this material world, in Bhuvi Grinanti, when we are in this material world, the only way to get rid of the effects of the material world is the Shravana Mangalam. When we are chanting the holy names of Krishna, that is the only way we can counteract the overpowering nature of this material world. We can counteract it very easily. So, and they are ending it by saying Bhurida Jana. Bhurida Jana means those munificent workers who spread the message of Godhead are definitely the most munificent. Bhurida means most munificent. Munificent meaning is munificent, like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is considered Vadanyaya. Mahavadanyaya means most munificent, which means they are more merciful, more magnanimous. They have nothing but paropkara in their heart. Paropkara means just working for the benefit of others. So we can see that Srila Prabhupada is the greatest Bhurida. Because of the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, the sacrifices that Srila Prabhupada has done, we are actually sitting here in the comfort of our own homes, and we are connecting to each other, discussing these most esoteric subject matters. It is simply by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. No other explanation to this. Just because of the work that Srila Prabhupada has done, the amazing, work that is done by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Senapati Bhakta, Srila Prabhupada, that is the result that we are able to reap the benefits of the work that Srila Prabhupada has done for us. And this particular verse is very significant also because there is a quotation of this verse found in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita as well. When Maharaj Pratap Rudra, when he was trying to meet the Lord in so many different occasions, when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was transformed, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was the guru of Maharaj Pratap Rudra, and Sri Ramananda Roy was the minister of Maharaj Pratap Rudra. And Maharaj Pratap Rudra was an extremely pious devotee, and he was the king. And he gave Ramananda Roy complete leave of absence with full pay. He said that when Lord Chaitanya was in Jagannath Puri, Ramananda Roy had the desire to go and serve Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri. So Maharaj Pratap Rudra gave him with pay leave to go and serve the Lord. He made all arrangements for his own minister to go and serve. You know how indispensable the minister is? But Maharaj Pratap Rudra said, don't worry, you go. But you go and serve the Lord. And Maharaj Pratap Rudra, on many occasions he wanted to meet with the Lord, but Lord Chaitanya, he wanted to follow the externalities of being a sannyasi. And he said, for me, being a sannyasi, to associate with, worldly people would be, degrading. I cannot do that being a sannyasi. So many devotees would come and beg Lord Chaitanya that please, he's a very great devotee. Please give your mercy to him. But Mahaprabhu was very, very, strong on this point that he would not violate his sannyas principles. Very strong on it. And finally, the day of Rath Yatra came, and at that time, Advaita Acharya and the other devotees, they told Maharaj Pratap Rudra that this is your opportunity, that to receive the mercy of the Lord, that you give up your kingly attire and you take on the the dress of a beggar, and you come, you become a sweeper in front of Lord Jagannath. And Maharaj Prataprudra did exactly that. He gave up his kingly attire, and he just as a humble street sweeper, he swept on the roads when Lord Jagannath's chariot was passing, and before that Mahaprabhu was dancing ecstatically, and Maharaj Prataprudra was sweeping the road where Mahaprabhu and Lord Jagannath were passing. And after that, they came to one garden to rest. Mahaprabhu entered a very beautiful garden. It's called as the Jagannath Vallabha Garden, and Mahaprabhu entered there to just take some rest because it was like a break time. And so that time the devotees headed by Sri Advaita Acharya, they came and told Maharaj Prataprudra that this is your opportunity. Go and massage the Supreme Lord while he is taking rest, and at that time recite this beautiful Gopi Gita. And then Maharaj Prataprudra, following the instructions of the devotees, he went inside the garden and he started massaging Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet, and he started chanting this beautiful Gopi Gita, one by one and by one. And by the time he came to this text 9, Tava Kathamritam, and he sang Bhurida Janam, Mahaprabhu was in deep ecstasy by this time. Just by the recitation of the first 9 verses, Maharaj Prataprudra could not go beyond the 9 verses, because Mahaprabhu actually just got up. As soon as he heard this 9th verse, Mahaprabhu just got up and he embraced Maharaj Prataprudra by saying, Bhurida, Bhurida, you are the most munificent worker, because you are giving me the nectar of the Gopis Gita. So you sang this for me, and you're allowing me to completely meditate and immerse myself in the Nectarian Mellows of the transcendental separation that the gopis are feeling from Krishna. So I'm so grateful to you. I don't know who you are, but I'm just embracing you. So Maharaj Prataprudra was being embraced by Lord Chaitanya over and over again. And Mahaprabhu was calling him Bhurida, that you are the most benevolent social worker, that you are really working for the welfare of others. So this pastime has a lot of significance, that Mahaprabhu, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's Krishna himself in the mode of Sri Radhe. So why did Mahaprabhu refuse to meet Maharaj Prataprudra in the beginning? And why did he then choose to say that I don't know who you are in the end, but still I'm embracing you? So did really Lord Chaitanya not know? No, Mahaprabhu knew everything. Even from the beginning, when he was rejecting to meet with Maharaj Prataprudra, there are many, many lessons why Lord Chaitanya did what he did. He was establishing the standards of what a sannyasi should behave, because yad yad acharati shreshthas tat tat evitarvachana. Whatever a great person does, common men follow. So if Lord Chaitanya would freely meet with Maharaj Prataprudra, everyone would take it for granted that yes, sannyas ashram means that you can do, you can roll with the aristocratic community or things like that. But for preaching, there are many, many risks, of course, that Srila Prabhupada has taken, which has been completely, so many questions have been asked like this in the past, that so is it actually true that sannyasi should not meet with the aristocratic class? Actually, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did meet with Maharaj Prataprudra. Finally, he did meet. So it is not that, Mahaprabhu is setting up a different kind of a standard and he's following something else. No. But Lord Chaitanya is saying that, when people have that kind of a, being the king means what? Thinking of oneself to be the controller. So Mahaprabhu is saying that unless he would give up that, pride mentality, that he would not give his mercy to Maharaj Prataprudra in one sense. So when Maharaj Prataprudra finally gave up his kingly attire, he took up the, vesha of a, mendicant. And he came very humbly, forgetting his position, forgetting his stature. He just gave up everything and he came surrendered in front of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That time Mahaprabhu accepted him. But again, in terms of our contemporary days, Srila Prabhupada has taken so much risk. We see Prabhupada meeting with the, aristocrats, with diplomats. Prabhupada even met with Indira Gandhi. He met with everybody. So that is the risk that the devotees are ready to take for spreading Krishna consciousness. So, of course, Srila Prabhupada is not sitting and, spending large amount of time with them, but how much ever is required to give Krishna consciousness to them and talk a few words of Krishna consciousness with those personalities. Srila Prabhupada has done that, and in that same mood, we see that even our current Guru Vargas, they are following in that same mood. Just for the sake of preaching, they are taking certain risks. And when they take such risks, they are actually protected directly by Sri Nityananda Ram. Lord Nityananda is having special mercy and special protection on those who take risks by going out and preaching. There's a special protection that Lord Nityananda awards. And by the pastime of Maharaj Prataprudra, Lord Chaitanya also was showing one more thing to the, giving another lesson that if we simply follow the instructions given to us by the senior devotees, our life is successful. Maharaj Prataprudra did exactly what Advaita Acharya and the other devotees told him. He did not use his own mind, he did not use his own thinking, but he just followed exactly what the senior devotees told him. And because of that, Mahaprabhu reciprocated with him. Because he was getting in the mood of Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayur Dasa 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 Nida. So we have to be in the mood of the servant of the servant of the servant of the devotees. When we are in that mood, we become at least a little bit qualified to receive the mercy and the embrace of Krishna. So all of these things are being, narrated and talked about in the pastime of Maharaj Prataparudra and him receiving the mercy from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he received this mercy from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just by reciting this beautiful first 9 verses of the Gopi Gita. So today we will end here and we will continue on again from text 10 onwards from next time.
A question in first verse so Krishna is having the very sweet voice, so how do we understand, means gopis were fortunate to hear that, and we know that Krishna's voice is very sweet, but how do we understand, how do we hear that voice right now?
How do we hear that voice? Well, the day that Krishna feels, that the day that Srimati Radharani feels that we are qualified, we will hear that voice one day or the other. We will hear that sweet voice from Krishna. But till then, we have the representatives of Krishna in the form of our Guru Vargas, in the form of the sweet and senior devotees who speak as sweetly as Krishna himself. And when we hear them, we can understand that if they are so sweet, how much sweeter Krishna is. You see? So we can experience the sweetness of words coming from the representatives of Krishna. And then if we continue on with our sadhana, with sincerity and with devotion, with faith, utsahan nishchayat dhairyat. When we have enthusiasm, we have determination, and at the same time when we have patience, that yes, one day, by following this path, that Srila Prabhupada has given us, we will one day achieve the ultimate, nectar of listening to Srimati Radharani's giggling and Krishna's sweet voice. We will be able to do that. So that is the faith with which we should render our sadhana, but for the time being, we should be able to understand how amazing Krishna's sweet voice would be just by gauging with seeing our Guru Vargas, how sweetly they talk. So that is a very, very close representative of Krishna. The Guru is said to be Sakshad Hari. We sing every morning, Sakshad Hari Tvena Samasta Shastra. So the Guru is Sakshad Hari, so whatever he does, whatever he speaks, that is not different from Krishna. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
I was wondering about the tune you used to sing these verses. So is that tune only applicable to this Gopi Gita part, or throughout all Bhagavatam you can use the same tune? Or I'm just curious about
it's just the Gopi Gita. It's just the Gopi Gita that we use this particular meter. And this particular raga is to be used with Gopi Gita, because Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj says that ye gopiyon ka geet nahi, this is the krandan of the gopis. Gopiyon ka rona hai. This tune is very much like that. It's in tune with the melody of gopis crying for separation from Krishna. So it's unique to this particular Gopi Gita, but there's of course different meters every devotee uses when they read the Srimad Bhagavatam, other verses also. But this particular raga is unique to Gopi Gita.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.